What is up, everybody? This is the CodeMaster from Team 14627 Spare Parts. Welcome back, everyone. This is the fourth episode of our basic series, and today we're going to be doing something a bit more complicated, but not too bad. We're going to be doing autonomous programming. Autonomous is basically when we, instead of telling the motors to move based on an input from the controller, we're going to tell it to move based on pre-programmed instructions. So we're going to give our motors some pre-programmed instructions today. So the first thing that we're going to do is I've already created an op mode, and I'm going to go to this thing right here where it says teleop. I'm going to switch that to autonomous. All right. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this while loop and get it out of here. I'm going to delete it. We don't need it right now. And the next thing I'm going to go is go to actuators, DC motor, and then I'm going to reverse our left side motors. That's not what I wanted to do. Back left, front left. There we go. And then I'm going to go, again, I'm working with a four-wheel drivetrain. I'm going to go to, actually I want to go to actuators again, DC motor dual, and I'm going to go to the set power block. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to put all four of our motors on there. I'm going to put it inside of the if statement right here, inside of the if block, so not up here in here. And the next thing I'm going to do is set my motor power to 0.5. The reason I'm doing this is because it means that the motors aren't quite as jumpy and they'll be more precise. So, and yeah, no, they'll be more accurate, more precise. So that's why we're doing that. The next thing we want to do is go to linear op mode, call autonomous test.sleep right here, and then it says milliseconds 1000 at the bottom. And we're going to put that right there. And the next thing we're going to do is duplicate our blocks again. And we're going to go down here and set our power to 0. That basically just tells our motors to stop. So what this is going to do is it's going to tell the motors to go up to 0.5 power, and this sleep command tells the code to just stop. It stops right here. These motors have gone up to 0.5 power, and they're going to stay there for 1000 milliseconds, which is the same as 1 second. And then, after that, they're going to power down and go to 0. Very simple stuff, and that's it. We are going to save, and in the later, if this doesn't do what you want it to do, you can actually change the values. You can tell this to be 1500 milliseconds, or you can also add multiple movements. So you can, for example, put these right here and then tell it to go backwards if you wanted to. But at the moment, we're just going to be doing this. So we're going to save, and we're going to break out our robot and see what it does. A fair warning before I leave. This code is not perfectly precise, especially if you have a Mecanum drivetrain, and it relies very heavily on the voltage of your battery. The higher the voltage of your battery, the farther your robot will travel. So you need to be mindful of that at competitions. You're gonna be working with a battery that's been like really dull. It's like really low power and programming on that, and then you're gonna hook up a fresh battery at competition, and it's gonna go way too far, and you're gonna be like, "What happened?" And it's because the code goes a lot farther um, when the battery is at full power versus when it's been at very low power. And there's a little green voltage sensor I'll show you in a second. There's a green voltage sensor, and you can use that to keep track of your voltage, and you can switch out fresh batteries at competition to make sure your code is consistent. So I'm going to save my op mode again, and I will leave you for the demo. Alright, so I've got our robot right here, our not so trusty robot Gandalf. I have my autonomous test initialized right here, or I'm about to initialize it, I've got it pulled up. This time you'll actually want to go to this arrow, so select autonomous, and it'll be under there because we picked it as an autonomous code. It won't be under this arrow. You want to go to this arrow because that's all your autonomous code. You'll select that arrow, go to your autonomous test. And we're going to initialize, and then play. And that was our robot moved forward at full power, or at half power rather, for 1,000 milliseconds. That's what we had in our code. And one last thing that I wanted to show you on the driver's side phone. This thing right here with a little battery symbol on it, that is your voltage sensor. So right now we're at 12.77 volts. I know it says a 12 volt battery, but yeah, it pumps out a lot more than 12 volts sometimes. This is actually a pretty low charged battery. It can pump it when it's fully charged. It will actually do it can do over 14 volts. So you'll have to keep a pretty close eye on that. So anyway, I will see you in the next video. CodeMaster.